What year will cities gain sentience and raise themselves on hydraulic legs to begin the long battle for resources?
So how in the name of Neeson's beard do you mess this up? This is a film in which cities roam around a massive field eating each other, and you couldn't find a way to make it awesome? You've got big cities, little ones and bungalows all hunting for resources in each other and attempting to hide from a scenery-chewing Agent Smith, and you made it duller than having to do the washing up when I'm out of podcasts on a dreary Tuesday. Universally agreed by people whose opinions matter to be the worst day of the week. Let me try and set the extremely generic scene. A long time ago, the ancients, that's us, did something we shouldn't have and wiped ourselves out. In a bid to survive, some Einstein decided to put all our cities on wheels because that thing we ancients did recreated Pangea somehow. I'm just going to assume there's some manga or anime or graphic novel out there which I don't care about. Anyway, we follow Hester Katniss, who was wounded when V killed her mum, in what is supposed to be a disfiguring facial wound, but actually looks like a bad shaving cut. She teams up with either Tom or Thom, depending on who was speaking and how much attention I was paying. They're pursued by some sort of Terminator thing that could have been removed at no cost to the plot, and 15 minutes of runtime. She's aided by someone from the Matrix who wants to take Red Skull back home, and there's a super weapon, and people have built a massive wall with loads of guns on it because they like the idea of their cities not roaming around eating other cities, and I get the feeling that a hell of a lot of lore was left out, as the world feels really empty, and everything that happens feels cut down, as if we're getting a Cliff Notes version of something so much bigger. The acting's your standard young adult level of passable, except for Elrond, who's having a lovely break from acting and wondering how he's going to pay his gas bill for a while. Now, the ad campaign's made a bit of a song and dance about being from the filmmakers of Lord of the Rings, for which it is going to hell for lying, and the Hobbit trilogy, for which it is not. Forget sweeping shots and gorgeous scenery, this is yet another film with so much CGI that I doubt any of it wasn't filmed on a set. The director has never directed a big film before. Seriously, Hollywood, stop giving nobodies big films. It never turns out well. As for the very marketable Peter Jackson, who seemingly has a lifetime pass, despite the fact he's not directed anything worth watching for 15 years, he's merely a producer. Whatever they do. Also, the film just didn't feel very big. These are literally cities on wheels, but they move like Fast and Furious cars with no sense of weight or heft. Comparisons to Howl's Moving Castle are inevitable, but the sense of scale is off. The closest comparison I can think of is from Thunderbirds 1965, where the big machines were heavy, cumbersome, and felt like they weighed tons. The Mortal Engine cities may as well be Captain Scarlet's cloud base for all the heft they don't have. Also, they seem to grow and shrink as the plot demands, and I couldn't build up a true sense of scale. Also, the CGI on those things sucked. Seriously, how do models from the 1960s look so much better than a gazillion-dollar film from the year 2018? And as well as those minor niggles, instead of sending out scout ships to find cities to eat or bigger cities to avoid, people use spyglasses like it's the 1800s, which seems seriously inefficient, and there's no sense of motion. No vibrations or moving backgrounds, it all just seems so static. Like I say, this feels like a manga or a young adult book series which has lost a lot of weight on its trip to the silver screen, which was a mistake. Look, I get why cities eating cities feels like it belongs on the big screen, but I think it should have stayed as a book or anime. I don't know, I don't want to know, I don't need to know. Once this review is up, I'm going to forget this whole wretched thing exists. Finally, going back to Triss Everdeen, she's an utterly useless heroine. Things happen to her and around her, but she has no real agency or impact on the plot beyond being a character for the audience to follow as we are rushed from event to event to event. I don't think there's a single situation that Hermione Drew got herself out of using her own brains and brawn, meaning that barring one incident right at the start, and even that's debatable, both she and Tom Thumb could have been replaced with sacks of potatoes. Potatoes! And I'm pretty sure the plot would have worked out exactly the same. Summing up, this is a CGI overloaded, full of bland characters with a tedious story that was pretty much revealed in its entirety in the trailer. It feels, looks and sounds like an anime, which is where this type of story belongs. What's that? Between me seeing this film and remembering to review it, the number crunchers have stated that it's going to lose $100 million and take the crown of biggest bomb from Robin Hood. Wow. So guys, at this point I would say that you should skip it, but from the sounds of things I think you already have, so really skip it. But what do you guys think? And what do you think is going to be this year's biggest bomb? Comment below, let me know. I'm Daniel, it's been a Dunking. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe.